What a different view. Actually, this car that I'm using, the thing wedges in pretty good. I want to talk about, well, one, I love you, and I love you too, Rodney. I love you, Rodney. I saw this video, somebody said if you just say I love you to yourself in the mirror 10 times before you start each day, you make a difference. And I did that for a little while, and it really helped. I don't do it all the time, but I try to tell myself I love you every day in the morning. Today I had to tell myself get the fuck out of bed and go to the gym. I'm grateful I did. I kind of not been going in the evenings, and I've been going in the morning. Even if I start at 8:30, I go, which means I'm up at 4:45. In reality, that's when I hit snooze, and I'm out of bed by 5:05. And I'm grateful that I've started doing that. It's been really good for me. But today, I want to give some words of encouragement to anybody watching this. Last night, I shared my story, and I shared it in a place that I have been afraid to go to for a while, and I'm really grateful that I did that, and I'm grateful that I'm just grateful I did that, and I shared more of the message than the mess. What's working for me. If you're in a place of like, you don't quite know what's going to happen next, you don't know if you could make it, you don't know if you're going to be able to get clean, you don't know if you're going to be able to pay your bills, you don't know. I can relate to a lot of that. I can relate to all of it. There was a time, you know, and then now, currently, you know, but I trust in a power greater than myself. I trust in my God that everything's going to work out, and I trust that way I don't stress as much. It's not that I'm not thinking about it, because I am, but when it gets so heavy to where it like paralyzes me, I trust, I ask for the strength to be able to push through. And you can do the same. Whether you believe in my God, or you believe in your God, or something out there that loves you, whatever it is, it's a hard concept to believe in something we're never going to really see, to trust in something we're never going to actually hear back from. We won't really have that human conversation that we do with other humans. And to trust in that completely is a very tough concept. But it's working for me. And it helps me. Because of it, I'm not just clean. And I'm not afraid like I once was. Fear used to run my ass. I was afraid of everything. Afraid of people. I was afraid of everyone. I'd be driving to work, and I'd be so afraid to get there. I'd look over and somebody would make eye contact with me, and I was afraid of them. I thought they knew what I was doing or what I had done. like that anymore. And here's the thing, I don't have to live like that anymore. And it wasn't that long ago that I did it. You know, like, time flies. It flies. Sure, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year, and they all are, you know, 60 seconds to a minute, 60 minutes to an hour. It's all the same amount of time. Sometimes it flies. Then you look back and it's like a couple months have passed by, maybe a couple years. But I will say this. I don't live in that fear anymore. And not a lot of things go my way. Currently, things aren't going my way. But I try my best to be of service. I try my best to be helpful. And I try my best to encourage as many as I can. And in that, it helps me. And in that, it helps me get outside my head, outside myself. And today I look in the mirror. Today I look in the mirror. I remember moving that mirror to the side and I didn't want to see it. I don't do that. And I give it my all. And my all is good enough. Your all is good enough. Just give it your all every day. Like everything you do, give it your all. It's always going to be good enough. When you start like wondering if it was good enough for others, it never will be. For the most part, you know, like my all is good enough for my kids. The most amazing thing happened yesterday. I get a call. I'm in my head, of course. I'm always in my head. I'm in my head, stressed over bills, stressed over people, places, things. And I get this call from the school. It's the school bus driver. And he said, I need to talk to you about Lucy. And I'm like, okay, here we go. You know, I've had so many calls about my kids over the last year. And they usually have been not what I wanted to hear. And he said, hey, I need to talk to you about Lucy. It's not bad. Do you have a minute? And I said, yeah, I have a minute. What happened? And he said that there was this girl, it was her first day on the bus. She's sitting in the back and she didn't want to be away from her dad and she was just crying hysterically. And Lucy got up, she was like in the front of the bus. She got up and walked to the back, gave that girl a big hug and just started hanging out with her and just held on to her and let her know it was going to be okay. And let her know that, you know, she wasn't alone. And that girl started smiling and then they were laughing together and the girl felt better and he just wanted to thank me for being the father that I am, because that's one of the reasons that Lucy's the way she is. And I sit here wondering if I'm good enough, wondering if I'm like a good dad. Shit, man, if you go back like 6 videos, I'm sitting here thinking I'm not good enough as a dad, you know. And I hear that story, you know, and I know it's not just me, it's their mom too, but, you know, we're both working a program of recovery. But she's doing what I'm doing, and she ain't even in fucking recovery. And it reminded me of that time that, like, I'm getting pizza with... I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna get emotional here. I'm getting pizza with my kids. And there's that fucking homeless dude who's fucking crying. And he's like in a fetal position. And I go and buy him a slice of pizza. And I go over and I give it to him. And Lucy's outside staring at me, and I told her to stay inside, but I'm focused on this dude. Then I give him a hug and I tell him that he's wanted and he's needed and I love him, because he looked at me and said, nobody loves me. And I said, I love you. And get over here, give me a hug. And he gives me a big ass hug. And you know, she watched me do that, and then here she is doing that shit for some kid that fucking is struggling. The work is paying off. My kids. They see me giving people money. They see me telling people that they're good enough. Because I want to raise my kids to be like that. You know, they got to be careful. Yes. But here's a situation where I feel like it paid off. And she's doing it on her own accord. And if everybody just did that, if we all just told everybody that it's going to be okay and it's worth it, and you're worth it, what would this world be like? I look around and there's all this death and fucking anger and everything. And I got discouraged not too long ago, like September. And I almost thought, like, fucking, what's the point, man? Then I realized the point is that we just do our best to make a difference in people's lives. And the payoff is that it'll be paid forward in the most unexpected places. I'm truly grateful that I decided to make a decision to change my life and not have to just keep going in and saying, I fucked up again. I fucked up again. I fucked up again. And I'm truly grateful for the life that I'm living, the way that I'm learning, and the people that are coming into my life. There are people right now in my life that I have struggled with that are still in my life that I just want to lift up and tell you that you're amazing and you're worth it, and these struggles are building character. And there are people that are watching from the side. I know they are. And I love you. And you're worth it. And you got this. And then there are people in my life that haven't met me yet that will come across this fucking video. And you're worth it. And you're wanted. And you're needed. I saw my sponsee in the gym today. I love that. You know, he's like, what are you doing? He called and I said, I'm at the gym. And he said, I'm on my way too. You know? I don't sponsor people to make them go to the gym or church or any of that stuff. But if they follow, they're helping themselves. It can't hurt. So you got this. You have what it takes. It's going to be okay. It's all going to work out. It may not work out the way we want it to right now, but when we look back, we can be like, it worked out exactly the way I needed it to. And I'm truly grateful that I have that perspective in mind. I'm truly grateful that even when things feel fucked up or they fall apart or I feel like they're falling apart, I know it's all part of a plan. And that plan is exactly the plan that is meant for me. And if I can spend the rest of my life doing my best to make a difference, learning, making mistakes, making amends, changing behaviors, and doing everything I can, and then when I die, I made the world just this much better, or I made a difference, then I did what I had to do to change my selfish ways. Because for the longest time, I made the world this much worse in my mind. I didn't make it better. I didn't help. And now I'm doing my part to try to help in the best way that I possibly can. And I'm grateful for that perspective. I do believe that we were born to love. And in love we give, and we learn, and we help, And so I got some bills I need to pay, and I'm not off to the greatest start, but I'm not gonna freak out. I'm gonna sell like hell, and I'm gonna trust that it's all gonna work out. And you have what it takes. And if you're on your way to the wilderness, not quite sure what it's gonna be like, you're in the right direction. You're on the right path. And there's a saying that, you know, some people prefer familiar hells over strange heavens. I love that saying. I love it. It's gonna be on me one day. It's my top 5. It's in my top 5. Strange heavens don't feel familiar, but they are what we need. So go out into the wilderness. Go do something that you don't normally do. Get outside your fucking comfort zone and build that confidence. Confidence is built when we do things that we don't want to do, and we overcome adversity that we fucking hate. When we sit there and we're like, when the fuck is this gonna end? When is it gonna stop? All right, I'm gonna keep going. And then we keep going, and we keep going, and we overcome that shit. And then we look back and we're like, fuck man, I did it. I did that. Nobody likes process. We all fucking hate process. But when we get comfortable with process and acceptance and perseverance never feels good. That's the whole point. Complacency feels good until it doesn't. Perseverance sucks. But it's what perseverance, the definition of perseverance is overcoming adversity. And when we do that over and over and over again, we are building confidence. And that confidence is what carries us to the next level and takes us out of a season that we have been staying in for so fucking long. So get outside your comfort zone. Start feeling comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. And your life will change immensely. And you'll learn how to smile when fucking everything's on fire. And you'll look around and say, fuck man, this shit right here ain't compared to what that shit was like back there. When everybody's like, what the fuck? You got this. You got this. That's it.